Hey Familia, Igni here, and welcome back to Shadowverse. We're taking a look at some more card reveals from the Resurgent Legends expansion coming out later this month. Now, I'll just let you know in advance that I'm feeling very ill, and I have a huge headache. That being said, I still wanted to get this video out for you guys because I'm going on vacation soon, a staycation rather, for the Christmas holidays. Anyway, Sekhmet, Goddess of Plague, 3-play.23. It's a Resurgent card of Sekhmet. Gains ambush until the end of your opponent's turn. At the end of your turn, give all other followers -1/-1 and restore 1 defense to your leader. So it's meant to be heal support. It's additional ambush alongside Agent of the Commandments, with the downside of debuffing your own board as well. The fact that it debuffs the opponent's board is nice, and you can offset the debuff to your board just by the fact that you're healing, plus with the Alluvia effect, you get 2 heals off this because it gets ambush, similar to the agent, and it just gives you more outs that way. That being said, it's kind of hard to play around. It doesn't tutor itself like agent, and it is 3 cost. So all in all, I think it's kind of mid, and I don't think it's the tool that Heal Haven really wants to see, especially not a replacement for Prayer Urn either. That being said, I could see it being good if Heal Haven does get more tools to supplement this ambush style a little more, but I just think agent is so much better, so I'm a little nonplussed with this one. Maybe I'll be proven wrong. Maybe somebody will just run all ambush all the time and just really annoy me. But I think it's usable, but nothing to get too excited about. But I feel of 2 minds about it, because it definitely could be one that just like pushes the ambush amount of followers in the deck over the edge and then just goes bam 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 to your face without you being able to deal with it. So definitely could be underestimating it. Alright, next up we have Lawful Evil. It's for the Bloodcraft under 10 archetype, 3/3/3 ward, banish 2 random cards from your deck, banish a card from your hand, put a copy of it into your deck, draw a card. At the end of your turn, if you have 10 cards or less in your deck, gain +3/+3 and give your leader the following effect until the end of your opponent's turn, reduce damage taken by 1. So the fact that this keeps gaining and reducing at the end of your turn, as long as it's on field, is kind of nice. It is a defensive payoff for getting that low. Is it worth running? I mean, just as a banisher and in a cycler, it could work. But another defensive tool when I really want to see more offensive tools. And my wish was granted with the next one, so I think Lawful Evil could be really good because the payoff is starting to really come together, you know. Milnard Demon Butcher, 5-play.45, a Resurgent card. During your turn, if this is banished from your deck, summon it and return it to your hand. So immediately you have ways to secure your end game, no matter what. That was one of the big concerns I had for this archetype, that you just banish all your good cards and then you'd have nothing to play. It just seems so RNG. Now, if you banish your Milnard, you have it in your hand, and during your turn, when this card is added from your hand to from your deck, so the effect, the quote-unquote invoke effect, doesn't count, but if you have 10 or less cards in your deck, reveal it, change its cost to 2 and gain +3/+1, Storm Drain. So it becomes a 2-play point, potentially 9 attack Storm Drain follower. And even though this effect doesn't happen when you invoke it with this effect, you can always put it back in your deck and then draw it again with all of the other effects for this archetype, like the so-called Lawful Evil we just took a look at, and pretty much every other card in this archetype all the way back to Hell's Heartbreaker. So Milnard seems like a consistent enough payoff alongside Hell's Heartbreaker, Lawful Evil, and all the other banished cards that we're getting to have a huge amount of storm damage. And it seems like very early on, because there's so many cards being printed for this archetype in this set, including this one, Sanguine Night, which is the best one so far, I think. Banish 2 random cards from your deck, banish a card from your hand, and put a copy of it into your deck, draw 2 cards. Draw 2 cards. If you have more Evo points, restore 1 defense to your leader and recover 1 play point. So going second, it's 1 play point, heal, banish 2, draw 2. That is so good. You go like 4 deeper into your deck for this archetype. You banish your Milnard, you get it back, you have hand advantage then. I think this archetype might be real. You know, the more cards they reveal for it, the more real it looks. And I was really not a believer when I first saw the idea of randomly banishing and randomly, you know, thinning your deck just for a payoff that might not work. But with these cards, I'm starting to think it might be an actual thing. All right, moving on to the next card. After Milnard, we have Calculating Medic. If you have at least 2 followers in your hand that originally cost 5 play points, increase your leader's maximum defense by 1, restore 1 defense to your leader, and draw a card. Card is incredibly good for this upcoming this upcoming Big Haven archetype that they're really pushing, with Lina specifically. Sorry for the rapid scrolling here, but I just got to show you there it is, Lina, where the more big cards that come into play, the more damage you do at the end of every turn. So if you just run a bunch of 5 play point plus cards, this now becomes an unconditional, well, it's conditional, but basically unconditional draw and max defense increase. It's quite strong. Yeah. Next up, we have Ines, Maiden of Clouds, another resurgent card for Portalcraft. This is the best card that we've seen. I feel like I've said that for a lot of cards today, but the cards today were quite strong. All right, Fanfare, if Resonance is active for you, put a random card with Fusion from your deck to your hand. So that's an Agile Searcher, or even in decks that aren't Artifact, it searches for Robo-Arm Rescuer. Otherwise, put a random follower with Crystallize from your deck into your hand. So an Artifact that pulls Retrophia. Evolve, if Resonance is active for you, gain Bane, otherwise gain Drain. That Fanfare effect is so strong. Not only pulling either Agile, Robo-Arm, or Retrophia, it just makes the deck so much more consistent. I think this card is just fantastic. And the more cards that get revealed for Portalcraft, the more I believe that Artifact is going to be actually good. All right, now we have a Shadowcraft card, Goblin Reaper. Bane, Fanfare, summon Goblin King and Goblin, which are both neutrals. Give them Bane, and last words, deal 1 damage to the enemy leader and restore 1 defense to your leader. Enhance 7, evolve them and this follower. Last words, deal 1 damage to the enemy leader and restore 1 defense to your leader. So clearly this is a value follower for the Dark Alice archetype, which they're supporting in this set. It summons not only last words, but also neutrals, which you need for Dark Alice. That being said, it is a little heavy at 5 play points, and it's very unflexible, right? At 5 play points, you summon 3 guys, and then you evolve it and you still only clear 1. Enhance 7, you evolve all of them. That's super late game. And I don't know. I think it depends on the ratios of neutrals and last word followers you need to reach the Dark Alice threshold consistently. I think if you can do it without this guy, you don't run him, because he just seems a little heavy, a little inflexible. But if you really need those ratios, then you kind of have no choice, right? Because this guy fulfills both conditions for the quest. And of course, in Take 2, this guy's really strong. Havencraft, 5 play point 4/2. It's called Pendulum Al-mi'raj. Rush, Fanfare, put a follower from your hand into play. At the end of your turn, return it to your hand. That has so many implications. One, it's obviously good for Big Haven, because you get to turbo your big count for your Lena. Additionally, it's incredibly strong with Divine Minister, the new 7 play point legendary that we revealed over on the Shadowverse open stream, because the Divine Minister comes into play, heals you, leaves play, banishes an enemy follower, and summons another Divine Minister. So powerful for a turn 5. For meme decks, it has implications where you can summon Zerael, and because Zerael has immunity to effects, you get a turn 5 18/9 follower that just stays on board. And it has implications outside of that too. You can just summon Jean and have Jean manual evolve. This card is super flexible, super strong. Very happy with this. All right, those are the cards that have been revealed these past 2 days for Resurgent Legends. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Which ones are you most excited for? And I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye.